Quick disclaimer before we begin, the PEMF podcast does not contain any medical advice and the content provided is for informational purposes only. If you have any health concerns, please visit a healthcare professional. Welcome back to another episode of the PEMF podcast, and today we are joined by a very, very special guest, probably the most special guest we've had on our podcast, and we'll come to why. So if I let you introduce yourself.
I'm Dorothy Smith.
So Dorothy Smith, and I shouldn't ask you this question. Nobody should ask a lady this question, but can you tell me how old you are, Dorothy?
I'm 100 years old.
So today we're joined by a centurion, and this is a very special centurion to me because this is actually my nan. So my nan has been using PEMF for maybe 10 years, the same time that I introduced NewMed and started the company. But we'll come to the PEMF side of it soon. So we'll go through those questions soon.
Yeah.
But let's get to know you a little bit more first. So one thing I'm really interested to know is did you get a telegraph when you turned 100? Because unfortunately, you actually turned 100 slightly after the passing of the Queen in England. And the Queen used to send out telegraphs to those people. So did you receive something for when you turned 100?
Well, I did. I received, actually, it's a birthday card you get from the palace, and it was the King and the Queen that sent it.
And so was that signed by the King?
Yeah, and it came by, what was it, post?
Like Royal Mail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came by, what was the post I said it came by?
Special delivery.
Special delivery, yeah. It came by special delivery. And so it was nice.
Mm-hmm. And you're a little bit of a local celebrity at the moment, aren't you? Because you've just featured on the BBC, which is a TV programme.
That's right. I was on the One Show.
And what was that for?
That was because of the D-Day landings 80 years ago. And I was in Southampton at that time. And I was in the Wrens then.
Okay, so you was a Wren back during the war.
Yes, during the war.
Yeah. So what is a Wren?
Well, it's a Women's Royal Naval Service, and during the war, I mean, I don't think they had Wrens. I'm not sure about that before the war, but anyway. We had to go into one of the services, Air Force or the Army or the Navy, or else if you didn't do one of those, you had to go and work in munitions. So I chose to go in the Wrens because my dad was in the merchant seaman, Dutch merchant seaman. So I thought that would be nice.
Yeah. So what was you doing in the Wrens? What was your role?
I was a writer, which meant that I could work in different offices, and it wasn't really. I mean, it wasn't a special job really. It was just I worked in an office because I was already working in bookkeeping before at my job before I joined the Wrens.
Yes, I mean, but you probably being modest about it. But back then, any job in that sort of industry was incredible. You did the program with some other Wrens, and you said that you thought they were doing other things. What sort of things were those? Wrens?
They were doing signals. Like one lady, she lives in Barnet, and she was that place where they sorted out all the codes. What's it called? Bexley Park.
Oh, okay.
And so she and they all had signal jobs, like on the switchboard.
Yeah.
One was on the switchboard, and so they were more into that actually, to the D-Day landings than what I was.
They're actually involved more in the actual.
There was 7 of us, so that's why I think, because we're veteran friends, so that's why they chose me, to go in.
Oh, amazing! And a little birdie tells me that you met the princess recently.
Yes, I did. Yes, I went to Buckingham Palace for the tea party, and there was the 7 of us, the 6 of us, because one lady had already had gone to Normandy the day before, so there was just the 6 of us, and we had. She came and spoke along the line. We all sat down, and she came along and had a word with us all, and it was lovely. And we had some nice little rolls and a cup of tea, and it was all lovely and friendly.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And you're keeping active as well. I hear that you're still walking down to the shops.
Yeah, I do. I do go shopping. I'm not saying it's my favourite place, Sainsbury's, but anyway, I'll carry on. If I want to eat, I have to go shopping.
Yeah. So, no, which is incredible. So we're in your home at the moment recording this podcast.
Yeah.
And each day, what does your typical day look like? So do you go to the shops at a certain time? Do you go to the park as well, I hear?
Yeah, well, I don't have a strict routine. I get up when I feel like it, which is about between 8 and 9, having breakfast, and I don't watch much television during the day, but I just do different things like.
And you're enjoying the tennis when we walked in?
Yeah, I did a bit of dusting this morning. I thought I'd better get rid of some of the dust before you come.
Yeah. And you was out in the garden yesterday, told us.
Yeah, and I did a little bit of gardening yesterday. I cut the plants down out the back, outside the back window.
Yeah.
I cut some of that down. It's come up nice.
Oh, good. So, talking about PEMF, it's the PEMF podcast.
Yeah.
So, my dad, who's obviously your son, he got you one of our devices, which is the Biomag device. So if you're watching this online, you should be able to see that my nan is sitting on the Biomag device, which is convenient for you because it's able to go on your chair, and it's nice and easy to use. So how often do you use your Biomag mat?
Well, every day. Every day I use it, and I read while I've got that on. I'm reading. I get the books from the library, so I large print, and I can sit and read while I'm on it.
No, so good. So it's a bit of time to yourself as well, a bit of time for reflection too. Mm. And you mentioned to me you were using some programs earlier. So what programs do you use often?
Well, I use mainly pain relief, and also I use the joint joint one.
Joint one, yeah.
I think it's number 5. I think that is.
Yeah. And
that takes an hour. I think that's an hour.
And how does it make you feel when you're using it? Can you feel anything or?
I did have quite a lot of pain this morning, and because when I first get up, I've got pain all over, elbows, wrists, everything is hurting.
Yeah.
Once I'm up and start walking around, I feel better, but I still got the pain in my back and my shoulder sometimes. So I think it is helping me because that all seems to go away for a while, you know.
Oh, okay.
But it's never going to go away forever.
No.
You know, it's just using that, I think, is a help.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And before you had this one, we had one with a bit of a jacket, wasn't it? Did you use the jacket one? It was an old German product we used to stock.
Oh, I can't remember that. I can remember I had a mattress.
Okay, yeah, the mattress you put on the bed.
I don't know why I didn't keep that. I'm not sure about that, but I can't remember the jacket one.
Yeah, okay.
Must have had.
We've given you quite a few.
I couldn't have had it for very long.
Yeah.
I sort of remembered, but I've had this one quite a long time.
And we want to get you our device that we've manufactured. So with the help of Dad, he's helped me put this product to market, and we're going to get you one of those soon.
Yeah.
But we're waiting for the 2-piece version to come out so we can put it on your chair. So that's going to be very soon. So don't worry, Nana. We'll we'll have another one to give you soon, and it's a nice, easy one to use. So
Yeah.
we'll get that one on you and see if we can get some even more, benefits for you, and hopefully knock that pain on the head. So, okay. So, you're saying that you've got, you're quite active person.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to know, I think, for our audience too, it's not often you get to talk to someone who is 100 years old and or above 100 years old, because we're hoping you're going to live to many, many, many years to come. So we'll be doing this podcast again in another 10 years.
Well, my birthday's in August again, and I didn't think when I said I'll see you next year, I didn't think I would be here.
Oh, bless you. No, we hope we see you for many, many years. So what would be good to do in this platform and this podcast is to find out how you got to this age and what you do, what you do, and if you have any anything you think has helped you get to this age. So there's lots of things on the internet, on the news that is going around recently, that there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah.
And people don't know what to believe anymore. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and we'll see whether someone that's got to your age does these things. Okay. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is do you drink tap water?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And how often do you drink tap? Is it the main source
I drink quite a lot of tap water.
Yeah.
I must have about, I should think I'd have 5 or 6 glasses a day. And then I've got some orange drinking that I take as well. And
is that like orange juice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sometimes squeeze my own juices.
So some fresh orange,
yeah,
like fresh OJ, as they call it. No, good. Okay. And a microwave. How often do you use a microwave? Do you have a microwave?
Yeah, I do.
And do you use it often?
Well, I usually have about 3 microwave dinners a week.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, I buy 3, but I've cooked them in the oven. I don't always do them in the microwave. Maybe 1 I'll do in the microwave, but the other 2 I usually do in the oven.
No, good. So it's not every day.
No, because I sometimes cook my own dinners.
Yeah.
I have fish that I cook.
Yes, you mentioned to me before this podcast that you're walking down to the shop and you're buying some fresh fish.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't actually buy it as fresh because I haven't got a fresh fish counter in that Sainsbury's. So I get it. It's chilled. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what fish are you eating?
Well, I like plaice and I like salmon.
Yeah.
Fresh salmon.
So plaice is a very British fish for anyone who's
and
listening
I do have
overseas.
I've smoked salmon nearly every lunchtime. If I don't have a boiled egg or something else, I usually have a smoked salmon sandwich. Yeah.
And eating lots of eggs? Because that's eating lots of eggs?
No, I don't eat a lot of eggs. I probably have 3 a week.
Oh, okay. Any tips that you think has got you to this age? How do you think you've got to this age?
Well, I don't really know. It's just I don't do anything really. I mean, I decided that I wasn't going to sit around. I've got to do things, even if I don't go out. I've got to do something.
So I think for me, something that you talk about a lot is your movement. You're still very active at your age, still walking to the shop, still going to the park, getting outside.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big contributing factor. And your social side as well. So you have some friends, lots of family.
I haven't got any friends, not really. I've got acquaintances, but because all my friends have died.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, so you've outlived a lot of them, haven't you?
Jim died. He's been gone 16 years.
Yeah, so Jim was your partner for a long time, wasn't he?
Do you remember him?
Yes, I still remember Jim. Yeah. So you've been living in this house quite a long time now, haven't you? And
I've been here 50 years.
Yeah, wow. So, but I mean, your social surroundings, I think, you might not think it, but you have connections and you see people a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
You
I
said,
do, because all the people around here, they know me. Well, I've been here for a long time, so I know people, but I don't actually socialise with any of my neighbours. We don't go in and out each other's places or anything like that. I've never have done that because I've always been too busy.
Yeah.
Bringing up the family.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. You've always stayed busy, haven't you? And even like you're saying now, you're keeping yourself active.
Yeah.
Lots of things to do. You're reading.
Yeah.
Watching like minimal TV, but you're up and about, and I think that's a big part. So, you said to me before that your what you eat, you just eat to enjoy.
Yeah.
So you eat what you want to eat.
Yeah, I do eat what I like because. When I was younger, our food was different to what it's like now. It used to taste.
Yeah.
They didn't put stuff into it to keep it.
Yeah.
We shopped every day for fresh food.
And that's the thing. I think you say that you eat what you want to eat, but looking at your diet from coming around here, I can see that your diet would be perceived as quite a healthy one. You eat, you cook your own food and lots of salmon, lots of like fish and meats and vegetables. And I always
have porridge with blueberries and honey.
Yeah,
for my breakfast always.
Okay, so and so you rarely go to stuff that what we would call nowadays is ultra processed.
Yeah.
So food that it comes out of packets and it's ready to eat when you buy it.
Yeah.
So, although you say you eat what you want, I still think you eat quite healthy and nice and balanced and what I would consider quite tasty food.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to eat these ultra processed food to enjoy them.
No.
I
don't like ham.
Okay.
I don't buy ham.
No, and that's fine.
I like sausages.
Yeah.
I have sausages once a week.
Yeah. No, good. Bangers and mash?
And mash, and fried onions.
Good. Exactly. Enjoying it.
I eat quite a lot of greens as well. Broccoli and beans and all that sort of stuff, green stuff. I always have green stuff with my dinners.
Yeah.
Always.
No, good.
Even if I buy a ready meal and it says it's got beans in it, I always cook my own beans. And
So you're always making sure you got something green on the plate.
Yeah.
We'll talk a bit about the PEMF again. So your PEMF, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you think you notice it when you don't use a PEMF for a day? So if you forget to use it or if you're traveling or something, do you feel that you miss the PEMF or that that you don't feel as switched on that day?
Well, most days, maybe some days I might not do 2 programs, but I always, when I've got that little one, I've got a small one, I take to the hairdressers.
Oh, so you've got a little medicure.
Yeah, because my fingers, they're getting a bit more straighter than what they were because I keep pressing them down. And not only that, I use that when I'm in bed as well.
Oh, okay. So you're using a little localized PEMF device on your hands. I put that in
2 or 3 times, and then I fall asleep. So
yeah, good. So
I use that. That's very handy. But when I stayed at Gillies for 3 weeks, I didn't have it at all. But her stairs are winding, and they were terrible. No banisters, so. I wasn't very active then, but I still used to go for a walk there, but I wasn't all that active and I did get a lot of pain. And so I was glad to get back so I could use this, really.
Yeah. Oh, good. So it's like you missed it.
Yeah, I did miss it. Yeah. Because I kept thinking every day I was going to come back, but I was there for nearly 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. And your sleep, you mentioned that sometimes you fall asleep when you're using it. It's something that people say is quite common. And that PEMF really helps with your sleep.
Yeah.
So is that something you notice as well?
Yeah, I do sleep well. I usually start getting ready for bed about 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then I read, and then I do the Wordle when it comes on at 12 o'clock. Only because
midnight?
The Queen does the Wordle. She waits till 12 so she can do it for the next day.
Oh, no.
So I've got Lily, Gilly, Tracy, Valerie. We all do it every day, so that's how we keep in touch.
Oh, wow. So you're doing that on your iPad, aren't you? Because the other thing
I love
is,
doing it.
Yeah, and you're very active on your iPad because that's a way that we communicate as well.
Yeah.
I find that pretty crazy that I can send you a message on a Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, you've messaged back.
Yeah.
So it's also helping with your focus, I think. So you're still very switched on. You know, the fact that we can have this conversation today and that you're on this podcast with us is a real testament to, how well you're doing as a centurion. So that's amazing. One other hot topic at the moment is vaccines and vaccinations.
Oh, yeah.
So do you get vaccinations?
Yeah, I do the flu one every year, and I think every 5 years I have to have the pneumonia one.
Okay.
And then I have the COVID ones. I've had 5 of those.
So you've had 5
but
COVID.
I've not had the last one because your dad said, "Oh, don't have it," and everybody's telling me not to have it.
Yeah.
So I've not had it.
Okay. So this is why, because a lot in the media at the moment, the COVID vaccination is coming under some scrutiny. But again, we don't know if it's misinformation that's being shared, but it's very interesting to know that you've had 5 vaccinations. Your first one was probably in 2020.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago now.
So I've got a little, they give you a little card. I've got all those upstairs,
Oh, okay. So no, it's good to know that you're keeping up with vaccinations and that you think that helps with with the flu every year. So you haven't had that, have you?
So anyway, it didn't affect me at all. Lots of people said that it made them feel ill. Or it didn't affect me one slightest bit.
No, that's good to know. If you could talk to the younger generation and say to them how you think they could live a more fulfilling life, what would you say to someone, or what would you do differently?
Don't know. I don't know what I would say to younger people, really, because I just think positive and try and do the best you can.
Yeah, and positivity is, I think, something I see a lot from you.
Yeah.
And it's another life lesson for people to go through life enjoying it.
Yeah. Things are so different now with young people, though. They're much more grown up. They grow up very quickly, don't they?
Yeah. I think the social media and online activity has a big part of people's growing up these days.
Yeah.
So it influences people a lot in those aspects. Thanks for listening to another episode of the PEMF podcast. And if you've got any questions, please leave them underneath and we'll get back to you. And please leave a 5-star review so we can keep getting amazing guests like this amazing centurion.